Hi, post-editing Sam here with the verse of the day. We're in Romans chapter 10, verses 9 through 10. If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. One believes with the heart, resulting in righteousness, and one confesses with the mouth, resulting in salvation. And it's an important reminder, if you haven't accepted Jesus into your life, that you can do so at any time, and I always want to leave the invitation open for those who haven't to get to know the creator of the universe. And yeah, on to the video. Alrighty, I had no idea how I was going to start this video, so bear with me. I'm probably going to be editing it a lot, and yeah, you're probably going to be hearing my dog a lot too. Dude, even though I got a chair for this episode, my dog is already on my lap and also on the chair, and it's like a little ottoman. It can't support my weight and the chonky wiener dog's weight, so this is what he's doing to me. You can take the ottoman. I guess I don't need a chair for recording after all. So yeah, my dog just completely stole my chair. Alright, cool. I thought it was gonna be comfy for this episode, but no, I guess not. Anyways, you guys aren't here to listen to me complain about my dogs. You guys, hopefully, for this video are here for the cute little scarves that you're going to learn how to make today. Because I had an idea. And, I was like, okay, scarves would be neat for an upcoming skit I want to work on, because I want to do something Christmas and fall, and you know, because I'm loving the weather outside right now. It's nice and cool, and I was thinking about it like, hey, I could spend an arm and a leg on the Velcro official scarves from LPS, or I could make my own scarves, which I did because I know how to crochet, and I think they look good. Personally, I think I like them a lot. It took me actually a little bit to figure out the length that I wanted. So like, I'm gonna show you a couple prototypes to show you what I mean about, like, it just took me a little bit to figure out exactly what I wanted. I have all the materials and stuff you'll be needing to see, so I might record myself actually crocheting. So here is the first prototype I made. The reason why I had originally made it together like this is because I didn't know how I was going to keep these on the Littlest Pet Shop. So let me get a little, like, an easy Littlest Pet Shop to show you what I mean by this. So this kind of design was easy for just slipping it on like that, and then you don't have to worry about tying it or anything. The problem is, well, one, this scarf is way too long. Two, the problem with this particular design is that it's not a one size fits all like the other one I came up with. Because even though that works great for getting on and off really easily, it only is going to work on a couple different Littlest Pet Shop, and then even in the end, it doesn't have that cute tied, like, wrapped around look that I love scarves for. So, like, it kind of does, and she's actually a pretty bad model because she's so short. It basically just looks like a skirt on her, or like a snuggie. Let me see if I have another Littlest Pet Shop. Oh, the wiener dogs was really easy to get this on. So here's one of my wiener dogs. Unsolicited wiener dog. Okay, I have to, like, and then you also have to make sure that you don't put this on upside down. So you just slip this on like a hula hoop. And there you go. One, again, it's too long. But two, I wanted the wrapped around look. And while that can achieve that on some of the Littlest Pet Shop, getting this prototype scarf onto the Great Dane was a pain because the loop was too small, and getting it over like his bum and his really long hind legs basically super stretched out the material. So even though like this is like the right tension I want to have the neck be full of for the scarf, it actually becomes more of a pain to take on and off than it would be to do the other way. Oh my goodness, Rusty, I love you, but he wants to be included so bad. I don't blame you if you fast forward through all of this, but if it's going to be my tutorial for free, I'm going to do my explaining because, yes. Anyways, so we moved on from the prototype of it being crocheted together, and then I moved on to just doing a chain, just doing a simple chain, and that worked, except I had to figure out the length that I needed to do. So I actually have several pictures I'm probably going to show on screen of the different lengths that I did, so that way I don't have to take these off of these guys. But I am still going to take one off of the Littlest Pet Shop to kind of show you how the scarf gets on them, which is incredibly simple. Let's take her. And there you go. You could use this as a boa, or you can use it as a scarf. I think this would make a really cute boa, depending on the type of material you use. I'll go over materials and stuff in a moment when we get to the actual tutorial and what you're going to need. So to put it back on her, it's just a simple over tie. Pull and adjust as needed. And there you go. It's just a really simple, like, really it's the material that makes this possible, basically. I have a lot of this material yarn, and I'm totally sponsoring myself, but I have an Etsy shop with a lot of crocheted plushies that I need to get rid of. So if you have interest in that as well, I'm going to have a link of that in the description of really cute little handmade plushies by myself that I haven't made more of because I want to get rid of the inventory I have. I have a lot of plushies to sell. So there's your ad segment. I have plushies to sell. Okay, so we're gonna make this little guy a scarf in this color. I really, really like this orange color. And what you're gonna need a 5.5 or a 5mm hook. I use the 5.5 because that's all I've got, but it's typically a 5mm hook. And this size yarn, I think it's either a 5 or 4, but it's the super fluffy yarn, like not Chanel, but it's like a plush, it's like a plush blanket yarn. I think this one was like Bernat Mysticals or something like that was the color for this. It was like an orange. I like this color a lot. I use this for a lot of cats, a lot of fall stuff. Okay, and then you're gonna need a yarn needle. For your sake, you're gonna want a yarn needle so you don't like stab yourself. Like this has a pretty rounded point, but you can still hurt yourself with this, so please be careful. But I use a very thick yarn needle. There are plastic yarn needles too, I would recommend that. But the reason why I use a metal one is just because it works smoother through the yarn as I'm going with it. And then you're just gonna want any kind of scissors or anything to cut off the ends. You guys are going to be learning like the most bare bones basic of crochet today. So, congratulations. You're now going to be able to tell others that you can crochet now. And good luck getting into that hobby because, man, the rabbit hole goes deep for crocheting. So you're actually going to learn from me how to do a slip knot. You're going to want to make this end a little bit long so that way you can tie it later. So make sure your end is long enough. You're going to make a loop like so. I'm trying to make sure my sausage fingers aren't in the way. Like that. Then take this end, push it through the loop. So you're holding that end now as its own little loop. So hopefully you can still hear me over the dog, and I'm trying to show you even though the yarn is thick. But you should have the end through here, through your original loop. Pull this yarn, the one that's attached to the ball, pull that one so it pulls the knot tight. And then that's your slip knot. You can see how this end is used to adjust the size. So you want to slip your hook in and pull specifically on the end to tighten it really tight to your hook. And there you go. I am threading the yarn between my fingers because this is how I'm able to crochet. Some other people may not thread it through their fingers and may only do like their forefinger and control it that way. A face down camera would help, so my working hand, or like so my yarn hand doesn't like completely show up on the screen, but you can see I did it like this. That helps me thread the yarn easier. But you've made your slip knot. Yay. That's your first like big hurdle. Let me zoom out. Can I zoom out the thing a little bit? Yeah, there we go. So you're going to want to go ahead and start chaining by what I do. This is a technique that you're going to get as you have crocheted, but if this is your very first time crocheting, one, this is probably the best project that you can do, is just practicing making chains like I'm going to be doing. But please don't be upset with yourself if your tension is off. Okay, so you're going to want to chain by taking your thread that you have, trying to be very like not in the way with my hands so you guys can see this. Take your hook and you want to go under the yarn so that it hits, so like this thing hooks it. Then you're going to want to pull. Sorry, my slip knot got really tight. And then you're going to want to pull through like that, and then you have like a loop on your hook, and that's your first chain. And then you do the same technique of going under the yarn, pulling through. And again, I'm trying to angle this. I look like I'm really bad and like I'm a novice, but I swear I'm not. It's hard for me to do this. It's hard for me to crochet for a camera when it's not facing, down. So I have to like do this at an angle. And then you keep doing that same motion of under, grab, pull through. Again, this is really hard for me to have it held here and around my phone like this. I am doing my best. My tension's probably going to be really off too. I didn't even count how many. Oh well. This is going to be a jank little scarf. That's all. About there's good for the tension that I have. I usually count to 9 loops is what I do. So I might have gotten 9 loops, but your chain should look like that. And super fluffy yarn helps out even if your tension is kind of loose, but you still want to be as tight as you can with this. So that way you don't have any holes. Unless you like holes in yours, and I personally don't. Doesn't matter to me though. Okay, so once you have enough loops for your chain, you're going to take your little scissors, I've got little scissors, and leave a long enough length to just snip that, because you're going to be tying this later. So with your hook still, like with your chain still on the hook, pull like you would be making another chain. Pull that through the loop so it goes completely through, and then just pull that tight. And there you go, you've made your first chain. Welcome to the crocheting community too. But this isn't done yet, because once we tie this around him, we don't want a bunch of dangly yarn at the end. We need to make sure these ends are secured. So you're going to take your yarn needle now, the hook and the scissors aside, that isn't like all over the place. Okay. You're going to take that, and through the last, like your last, goodness gracious, through like your last loop, go ahead and start pulling that through, so that way you can make another knot. And for the ends, I like to do it, like I like to tie it twice. This is why you need a long enough end for you and your needle. If you can make it through the knot again, great, but if you have to go through the same loop, doesn't matter. And then that way with it tied twice like that, I keep going like this, like you guys can see from that angle, but here you go. Get your little scissors again, and as close as you can, go ahead and give it a snip. Get rid of the little fuzzies. There you go, that's one end done. And then it's going to be difficult because I didn't make this one long enough for my needle, so always remember to make the ends long enough for you to be able to tie. Because see, now this got super small. I might only be able to do one on this end, which is fine. The slip knot end's pretty secure. So go ahead and snip there. Get rid of your little fuzzies at the end. And there you go. There's your very own scarf. Let's go ahead and get this on him, the little boy. And if you feel that this length isn't long enough for what you want, you can always do more chains. You don't have to stop at the exact amount that I do. This is just what I do so that the length isn't too long at the ends, that they just kind of like trail off and look too big on the body. But I love this color so much. So there you go. Wow, he's got his own little scarf now. I think orange isn't really fitting so much since he already has orange, but he still looks super cute. Now he can be matchies with his curly friend. Like that. Actually, you know what? No, I'm gonna restage them to be like... Oh gosh, the wieners are too long. The wiener dogs are too long. They're too long to be side by side on this couch. Okay, they're just gonna have to be in front of it like they can fit on it or something. There we go. Just take the couch completely out of the view and there you go. That's how you can make your own scarves for your own littlest pet shop through crocheting. I'll put a list of the materials that you'll need in the description, and I wish you the best in making your own scarves. And if you want to purchase some from me, I'm going to be making like a scarf set, so you can get like 3 or 4 of the scarves. I'm not sure on how many I want to put in a set, but I'm going to be using all the colors that I have, which I have a lot of yarn. Guys, I am not kidding you. I have a lot of yarn. So yeah, if you want to be purchasing scarves from me, that's completely fine. I want to take this a step further and make jewelry and dresses for these guys soon enough. So hopefully I'll be making another video about that soon. Thanks for watching though. My wiener dog, my real life wiener dog needs me. And always remember that Jesus loves you. See you next time.